So it's 9/11/2016. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to do a video remembering what happened 15 years ago from my point of view. And I don't know why. I don't do videos like this. But I just felt like I needed to do it today. Maybe it's just for me. I don't know. But what happened that day affected everybody in this country in ways that sometimes we can't even really describe. And I've tried telling that to people who were too young to remember or care, honestly, about what happened. My son was 2 when it happened. My oldest daughter wasn't even 2 months old yet. And I've tried explaining to them, you don't understand. What happened that day, it has affected your life. It'll probably affect the rest of your life. But it's important for those reasons to remember what happened. It's important for a lot of reasons to remember what happened. But, you know, that day I remember I had to go to work at 9 o'clock. And I worked at a grocery store. I was one of the store managers there. I woke up at 8 Central. So I woke up literally just a couple minutes before the first plane hit. I got up, I got dressed, TV was on. It wasn't even on a news channel. It was on in the living room, I was getting dressed, and I started hearing these weird alerts. And I heard something about plane crash, and I don't know, it was weird. It caught my attention. So I'm getting dressed, I walk in the living room, kind of getting dressed, and I see that a plane hit a building in New York. And I think, oh my God, that's horrible. But of course, like everybody else, we assumed it was an accident. Something happened, something went wrong with the plane. Horrible, horrible accident. So I leave the news on and I'm listening to it, hearing all the sirens and everything that they're talking about. Continue getting dressed, and then right before I'm about to walk out the door, I hear a second plane has hit the tower. And then you instantly just go cold, because you realize it's not a coincidence. It's not an accident at that point. And I didn't even know which tower it hit. In my head, I just assumed it hit the same tower. Didn't realize it hit the second tower. But I'm sitting there watching the news, and I'm realizing I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I have to leave. You know, at the time, it took me 45 minutes to get to work. I had to go. So I hop in the car after I kiss my kids goodbye. My youngest is still asleep. Give her a little kiss on the forehead. Take off. Start driving. 2001, I think I had just had my cell phone. Maybe a year. First cell phone I ever really had. Didn't have one in the 90s. My mother calls me. Says she's on her way to the gas station. She saw the gas station close to where she lives. Lines backed up the road. People are panicking, freaking out. Again, this just happened. It's been maybe 45 minutes. I tell her, just be careful, do what you need to do. She asks me, am I going to get gas? I'm like, I don't have time, I have to go to work. I go to work. I get to the store. Everything's packed. People are filling their carts with canned goods and water. Everybody, me included, we don't know what to think. Is this just the beginning? That's what most of us were thinking. We're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You think this is just the beginning. You're scared, you're confused, you feel hopeless, you don't know what to think. So we had a TV in the break room upstairs, and then I and about all the managers and several of the employees, we go up there and we're just watching the TV, just watching what's going on. It's just, as the day rolls on, as people are loading up on canned goods and water, and occasionally one of the managers, me included, has to go downstairs and take care of something and come back up and stare at the TV some more. We just see all this destruction on TV, everything that's happening, people crying, bleeding, repeats of the planes hitting over and over and over again, seeing the towers fall, them talking about body counts. And again, I'm in Dallas, so far away from everything that's happening, and I'm scared, and I'm confused, and I'm angry. And so we all just sit there, and we kind of half-ass do our jobs throughout the day, watching what's going on. And I go home that night, I think I left about 7, 8 o'clock that night. I go home and I watch TV some more. Watch the news some more until I pass out. And the next day I wake up and I'm just more confused, more sad, more hopeless, more angry. I think like we all were. It was a national tragedy. Not in a way that a lot of times Obama and everybody else likes to say something's a national tragedy. This was a true national tragedy. Something that we hadn't seen in 60 years. That's what it was. And it's important to remember that. It's important to remember that for the victims, for the heroes, for the sake of not letting it happen again. It's important we don't forget this. It really, really is. So don't forget. Remember. Tell people who are too young to remember what happened that day and how it made you feel. Because people need to know. People need to know. People need to remember.